I'm waiting for us to be together again. We've been on this message for a while called A Light to My Path. But of course you will see another subtitle that goes with it. He says, what do you mean? What does subtitle mean? The subtitle says, let's magnify the path. You see, during the VK's Bible School this year, we're going to learn about how we're going to learn about that we're going to learn about discovering the bigness of God in the smallest of things. He says, what do you mean with that? It means that no matter how small things can be, like a tiny flower, big grown, like how a big flower can be grown by a tiny seed. So let me just say this. For us to as we study the path, for us to study the light to my path, we need to dive deeper. We only go part of the way. But actually, we are nowhere close to end the path. There's no end to this path I'm talking about. If you want to go down the path of if you want to go to the path of a narrow way, if you want to go down this road, just like, like when you go on the highway, you travel on the highway, you do fine, but soon later you get off the highway. Your exit is ready to pull up. Right? Just like in Matthew chapter 7, 6, why is the gate? Why is the gate? Why is the gate the broadest way that leads to destruction? But God's pointing out to us, but God's pointing out to us that no matter how wide the gate, no matter how wide your road you'll be traveling on, at some point you need to take the narrow road, the skinny road. You need to get off that highway to a ramp so you can go where you need to go. You might go to a store, go to a movie, or even going to work. How can you get from point A to point B without going off the road? In other words, you need to find that road. You can't find that road without going through Christ. If you walk with, he says, wait a minute, I can't get on that road without Christ. I'm not talking about the Bristol road. I'm not talking about the road that we drive on each day. I'm talking about a road that you have to get out of the car and walk. Because that's how narrow the road is. Like, there are some roads you're able to make, there are some roads that's really wide, there are some roads that's get a little bit narrow and narrow. It's like getting so big. I think it's smaller. Before you know it, the road is so small that you cannot fit your car. That's what we need to talk about. We are now going through that tiny little road that you have to walk the rest way in. we get from the wide road onto a narrow road, and now we get into like one of those car-path roads. Now it's time for you to stop the car, get out of the car, and start walking. Because, well, I don't want to get a perfect good car. You probably, I don't want to get a perfect good car. You told me to stay in the car. But sometimes when you are walking with Christ, sooner or later you need to walk. You need to get out of the car because there's some roads that you have go on that your car can't fit. Maybe trees in the way, porcupines, and things like that. You have no bridge that you can't get across. It would probably say, if the road is that small, I should turn around. If the road is that small, I should turn around and go the other direction. There is no other direction if you talk about with Christ. In other words, you need to put that light on. Put that light on, folks. Make that road big enough where you know where exactly you're walking. But there are sometimes the road is so small that you need a magnifying glass for it. You need to carry one of these on person at all times, but you have no idea what kind of trip hazards that you need to be aware of. You know, there's some roads that never be movie trapped. You see some of the horror movies, right? Some of the horror movies when somebody when somebody's driving into a car and sooner or later, boom! A beside walks on it, beside ambulance coming down towards your car. You see rocket trains going around. They go over in those small areas, knocking the rockets down. Because of the fact it was movie trapped. In some areas when you start walking, you trip, boom. You trip over a rope here, wherever it is, and beside a walk's coming down here. Or you trigger off a explosion atom that blows you up and pulls the smoke. On the road with Christ, there's all kinds of booby traps. He says, what do you mean? God put a booby trap on his road? No, God did not put those booby traps on his road. The devil put those traps on our road to scare you so you can go back on the big road. He put those traps in to scare you off. But secondly, if you want to get closer to Christ, and you don't want to be scared off by the devil, you need to start magnifying it. Turn that light on. Turn that light on. Use a magnifying glass to look for those tiny things that could trip you up at any way possible. He says, what do you mean? Take a look with me in the book of Psalms, chapter 34, verse 3. In verse 3 it says, Oh, magnify the Lord with me, and let us exalt his name together. I sought the Lord, and he heard me, and deliver me from all of my fears. He probably says, well, let's talk about. As we talked about, that we need to magnify the Lord. Because we need to magnify the Lord because His blessings is so much that you need a magnifying glass to find it. There's so much blessings that you cannot know. God bless the whole entire world you be on. And sometimes you need to magnify it. To really look at the blessings that He made for you. But also, you need to recognize that the devil also can make things there to trip you up, to make you fall, to make your nose bleed. If he puts you back to the main road. Because he comes to steal, to kill, and destroy. He do whatever he can to steal the blessings that's ahead of you. You know what? You know what he's saying about the rainbow? That there's somewhere beyond the rainbow, there's golden stuff. Like some treasure beyond the rainbow. And you want to find that gold. You want to find that rainbow stuff. That rainbow treasure. How can you find it? Without stay on the path. You cannot find the treasure if you don't stay on the path. And you found out that the treasure you already have. All you have to do is just receive it. He probably says, wait a minute, if I already have it and I'm looking for it, why? If I already have it and I'm still looking for it, how can I find it when I never have seen? How can I cannot see that I already have? Good question. We take a look with me in the book of Job. Job we answer, but it's about this. God is asking Job all kinds of questions because he don't even know it himself. You see, who you be asking me, who is Job? Job is the guy that, wonderful Christian he is. He never lose faith at all. He do the best he could. But until one day, the devil asked permission to test Job's faith. And he tests Job so much that make him feel so discouraged. But he never lose his faith. Beyond the rainbow. He never lose his faith at all. But of course, be down the road where he has sinned against the Lord. Of knowing he has sinned against the Lord because, in fact, because he talked about things that he doesn't know. He wants to know. But here is God asking him questions. Take a look with me in Job chapter 38. In Job chapter 38, it says here, then the Lord answered Job out of the whirlwind and said, Who Who is this that I dwelleth castle by words without knowledge? Rid up now thy lions like a man, for I will demand of thee, and answer thou me. Where art thou when I laid you for dozens of the earth? Declare if thou hast understanding, who have laid the measures thereof, if thou knowest, or who have stressed the line upon it, whereupon are the for dozen thereof fastened, or who laid the cornerstone thereof, who with the moon and the stars sang together, and all the sons of God shouted for joy, or who shut up the sea with doors when it broke forth, as if had issued out of the womb, when I made the cloud and garments there of the thick darkness, a shuddering brand for it, and it broke up for it my decreed place, and set bars and doors. I said, Israel, shalt thou come, but no farther, and bear shall thy proud waves be stayed. Hast thou commanded the morning since thy days, and caused the dayspring to know his place, that it might take hold of the ends of the earth, that the wicked might be shaken out of it. It is torn as clay and seal, and they stand as a garment. And from the wicked their light is withholding, and high arm will be broken. Hast thou entered into the springs of the sea, or hast thou walked in the cirques of the death? Have the gates of death been opened unto thee, or hast thou seen the doors of the shadow of death? Hast thou perceived the breadth of the earth? Declare if thou knowest it all. Where is the way? Where is the way where light dwelleth, and as for the darkness, where is the place thereof, that thou shouldest take it to the bound thereof, and that thou shouldest know the paths of the house thereof? Knowest thou it because thou wast then born, or because the number of thy days is great? Hast thou entered into the treasures of the snow, or hast thou seen the treasures of that hell, which I have resolved against the time of trouble, against the day of battle and war? By what way is the light period which scattereth and casts wind upon the earth? who has divided the water course for the overflowing of waters, or a way for the lighting a thunder to cause it to rain on the earth, where no man is on the wilderness, wherein there is no man to satisfy the desolate and waste ground, and to cause the bud of the tender herb to spring forth, have the rain a father, or have brought in the drops of dew. Out of the whose womb came the eyes and the holy falls of heaven, who have grounded it. The waters were hid with a stone, and the face of the deep is frozen. Canst thou bend the sweet influences of materials, or loose the bands of Aaron? Canst thou bring forth Lazarus in his season, or canst thou guide Lazarus with his sons? Knowest thou the utterance of heaven? Canst thou set a dominion thereof in the earth? Canst thou lift up thy force to the clouds, and the obedience of waters may cover thee? Canst thou set lightnings, and they may go unto and say unto thee, Here we are, who have put wisdom in the inward parts, or who have given understanding to the heart, who can number the clouds in wisdom, or who can stay with bottles of heaven, when the dust goeth unto the hardness, and the clouds cleave fast together, whilst thou hunt and prey for the lion, or feel the opposition to the young lions. With a cross in the dance, and a bind in the covert, to lie in what? Who provideth for the raven his food, when the young ones cry unto God? They wonder for lack of meat. And that's all in chapter 38. And there's a lot more questions that God is asking to Job. He probably says, he asked me, if I were Job, I get a headache right now. I'm popping aspirin like crazy, because I don't understand all these questions he asks. I'm like, whoa. He asked all these questions. I cannot even ask. Oh no, I'd be doing good if I could ask one. But no, God has tons of questions to Job, and he's still going. Which I'm not going into that. Why not? Knowest thou the time when the wild goats of the walk bring forth, and canst thou mark when the hinds of a clove? Canst thou remember the months that they fulfill, or knowest thou the time when they bring forth? They bow themselves, they bring forth their young ones, and cast out their sorrows. I go to verse 4. And their young ones are good lacking. They grow up with corn, and they go forth, and return not unto them. Just asking all those questions, and very, and that's not all. But I want you to see Job's response. And it's still going all the way down to in all those, this is very, all these questions that I already read, there's tons more. It goes to all the way down to chapter 41, verse 34. There's a lot of questions. The other was the ones that says read is only a tip of the iceberg. But this is what Job said. This sin. But this is what Job said. Then Job answered the Lord and said, I know that thou canst do everything, and that no thought can be withholden from thee. Who is he that hath counsel without knowledge? Therefore have I entered that I understand all things too. I understand not. These two wonderful for me, which I know not. Here I beseech thee, and I will speak, I will demand of thee, and declare thou unto me. I have heard of thee by the hearing of the ear, but now my eye seeth thee. Wherefore I humble myself and repent in dust and ashes. I stop right there. This is only talk about the introduction of a way that God is talking to. But we need to understand that we need to magnify God in every area of our lives. When Job is talking about this, when Job is able to speak now, after God do his speaking, Job is talking about that he is so blessed by everything that God has done. All those questions all the questions that he asked, is a blessing to him. But I think he said that I don't understand it. If first chapter is so in 42:3 says, who is he that hath counsel without knowledge? Therefore have I uttered that I understand not. Here you go, understand not. And then he says this, that is too wonderful for me, which I knew not. Other thing, he talks about all the things that he have questions. Hey, legend, other things he have questions for. He says it's too wonderful. This is all my blessings. Yes, Lord, I know. But I don't know all of this take place. I don't know all of it, but you are the way. That's what he's talking about. He says, "What means the way?" Take a look with me in Psalm chapter 14. In Psalm chapter 14, for it says here, in verse 6, Jesus said unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life, that no man cometh unto the Father, but by me. Just much that. Such a massive fact. Jesus said, I am the way, the life, and the truth, and no one can come to his kingdom without going through him. We can't go to the Father without going through me first. It started at Walker Park from all the questions that we answer, all the questions that God is talking to Job. We don't know all those questions. And there's a whole lot more questions that we have questions about. But exactly, we need to dive deeper. As he said that Jesus is the way. Which explain me the way. There are so many things we can look into. We can even take a look right now to Hebrews. In Hebrews chapter 1. In Hebrews chapter 1 it says, God who has said in time saying diverse manners, spoke in time past unto the fathers by the prophets, have in the last day spoken by us by his Son, whom he hath appointed heir of all things, by whom he also made the worlds, who being the brightness of his glory, and express image of his person, and upholding all things by the word of his power, when he had himself purged our sins and sat down on the right hand of the Majesty on high. Wow. Verse 4. Being made so much better than the angels, as he have by inheritance obtained a more excellent name than they. He probably says, well, let's talk about, it talks about Jesus. It talks about Jesus Christ, the Son of David. He probably says, how does it talk about Jesus? How you know that's talking about Jesus? Take a look in the Gospel of Psalms, chapter 1. Sorry, thank you, pages. In Psalm chapter 1, says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The same as it was in the beginning with God. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything that anything made that was made. In him was life, and life was the light of man. And the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness prohibited it not. That's the first sign. The Word was with God, and the Word was God, and the Word was God. So in other words, you need a man that was made perfect before God. We know the Christmas story, right? We know that Jesus was born. And if you want more proof, Psalm 11. Psalm chapter 11. When Lazarus was sick, and he had to face difficult things, he tried to get himself all healed up, but sadly, instead of getting all healed, he must close his eyes, and he was dead. And then he was buried. Jesus waited for 2 days. Jesus waited for 2 days after receiving the message that Lazarus has died. And then he said, come on, man, we need to go to Bethany. We need to go back to Judea. For yet Lazarus falling to sleep, and that's how I wake him up. It's so amazing, like if you sleep, you can't be healed. But they make themselves look like our boys. They didn't know that Lazarus was dead. When Jesus, as we told them, Lazarus is dead. Lazarus is dead. Let's go. It's no longer Thomas opened his mouth. Thomas opened his mouth and says, let's all go. Let's all know it. Let's all go and die with him. Because in fact, the Jewish leaders, as P.F. said as he says already, they are planning to kill Jesus at any moment. But sadly, you never know the moment. Because the Bible pointed out to us about the moment that it's going to happen. Jesus don't even care that he gonna face death, because he knows every time, every second, everything about his death will be coming when it comes. And when he arrived, it's here for one. In verse 1 says, now gentleman was sick, named Lazarus of Bethany, the town of Mary and her sister Martha. It was Mary that anointed the Lord with the ointment and wiped his feet with her hair, whose brother Lazarus was sick. Therefore his sisters sent upon him, saying, Lord, behold, he whom thou lovest is sick. When Jesus heard that, he said, this sickness is not unto death, but for the glory of God, that the Son of God might be glorified thereby. Now Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. When he heard therefore that he was sick, he abided 2 days, and still in the same place where he was. And after that, he said to his disciples, let's go to Judea again. His disciples say to him, Master, the Jews of of lake sought to stone thee. And goest thou thither again? This is answered, are there not 12 hours in the day? If any man walk in the day, he stumbleth not, because he seeth the light of this world. But if a man walk in the night, he stumbleth, because there is no light in him. These things he said, and after he saith unto him, our friend Lazarus shall leave, but I go, that he may awake him out of sleep. Then said his disciples, Lord, if he shall leave, he shall do well. And as Jesus spoke of his death, they thought he had spoken and of taking of rest and sleep. Then Jesus unto them plainly, Lazarus is dead, and I'm glad for you, for your sakes, that I was not there, to the intent that he may believe never light. Let us go unto him. Then said Thomas with his son Timaeus unto the found. Skip down to 20. Then, verse 19. And many of the Jews came to Martha and Mary to comfort them concerning their brother. Then Martha had seen as she heard that Jesus was coming, went and meet him. But Mary sat still in the house. Then said Martha unto Jesus, Lord, if thou hadst been here, my brother had not died. Listen to this. But I know that God is even now, whatsoever thou hast asked of God, God will give it to thee. Jesus saith unto her, thy brother shall rise again. Martha saith unto him, I know that he shall rise again in the resurrection at the last day. Jesus said unto her, I am. Jesus said unto him, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. And whosoever liveth and believeth in me shall never die. Believest thou this? She said unto him, Hear, Lord, I believe that thou art the Christ, the Son of God, which should come into the world. That's much of that. And so later, they went to the tomb where Jesus, they went to the tomb where Lazarus was laid. And Jesus said, remove the stone. They removed the stone. And then Jesus said, they removed the stone, but exactly Martha stopped him and said, he'd been there for 4 days. He might be sick. And Jesus replied, do you not believe what I just said? He replied, do you believe? For what I said, that he is the resurrection and the life. And at that time, they removed that stone. And anybody was covered on noses because of the smell. And then I said, this is prayed to God, and after he prayed to God, he says, Lazarus, come forth. And when he says that, Lazarus got up from laying on that table. Probably had no use of his legs. Probably his legs was asleep. So falling to sleep for a long period of time. His body would probably decaying. But Zachary, when Jesus said, Lazarus come forth, he immediately got up. He got up and walked out. And everybody was astonished. People thought that was a mommy. That was a zombie mommy. But Zachary, it was not a zombie mommy. It was Lazarus arose from the dead. Because Jesus had the victory over it. Because Jesus is the Son of the living God. So that's proof right there, folks. That's proof that he is the way. He's the way in the life. How much more proof do you need? How much more proof? If you want more proof, I could spend years and hours talking about it. If you want more proof. But Zachary, you will not understand it. You will not understand it. If I keep on talking about how good God is. I will talk to you about my blessings. I will talk about how I was near death. When I was born, I was being near death. That's why I was soaking on a cord. I was soaking on a cord. But God gives me life. And of course, I have doubts people. I have all kinds of odds that I have beaten. I could die in the womb. But no, God give me life. I could die in my mother's womb. I could die after I was out of the womb. I could have a heart effect. I could have all kinds of problems. But no, I haven't. Because I beat the odds. Because God gives me life. I could use my hands. I could use my feet. I could use my head. When I was little, I raised my head. When I was little, my dad told me that my mom said something and I raised my head. That was kind of difficult for people that have Down syndrome. But exactly, I done it. I keep on beating the odds. Because God is an amazing God. He doesn't just give me a life, but he also give me a way to overcome certain obstacles. And I overcome it. Just like Lazarus was dead for 4 days. And God gave him life. Just like Father Abraham. That he gonna be blessed by our nations. And he traveled the path. He traveled the path and he went there. Same with Noah. This was by flood. And God saved him and his family because of the flood. What about all the plagues and all the diseases in Egypt? And all the Israelites were saved. What about the slavery? They were But on the safely, they had to work the bus off it on time. God saved them from it. After the death of the firstborn died. And Pharaoh got so upset in the freeing the Israelites. Free the Israelites. They did not put on the pajamas. They had the clothes on. They have their big dresses on. But Zachary, they put the dresses up in the belt so that they could run out fast. They had all the bags and everything on the camels are ready to go. They have everything they need and everything ready for them to need when they leave. But before they leave, they had to kill a sheep. They make a blood offering to God. And then they put the blood offering under their post so that the death of the firstborn will not affect the families. But after all that takes place, when God says go, Moses, God. When God says go, Moses on his horn and there it out. Whew. Just like Kentucky Derby. One pull, boom. The one out, whoa. The one out there like they are running wonderful. They make it all the way to the Red Sea. Importantly, Pharaoh takes his mind and takes him out. Pharaoh takes the mind and they chase them to the Red Sea. And God gave the orders to depart the Red Sea and they march way through. They make it all the way to the other side. And the Pharaoh and his army went after them into the sea. And when they all been on the other side, Moses, I think God gave the command to Moses to cross the Red Sea. Boom. Pharaoh and those people died in the Red Sea. They are drowned. That's how good God is. Just matter of fact. I know I need to be in that will. But exactly, you didn't see the goodness of God. He is the way, the life, and the truth. But it can't get any better results without looking deeper. So we're going to dive deep. We're going to dive deeper onto this path. So before we go in, take a look with me in 1 Peter. In 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 13 through 15. It says, Wherefore gird up the lives of your mind and sober and hope and sober and hope to the end, for the grace that is to be brought unto you at the resurrection of Jesus Christ, as being children, not fasting yourselves according to the former lust and your arrogance, but as he which have called you as holy, so be he holy in a manner of conversation. Oh, how beautiful that is, right? How beautiful the path can be. Right there. If you want to follow God, if you want to follow the way, the life, the truth, you need to follow that hope. You need to find that hope. You need to put on the armor of God and be ready. In other words, keep your clothes on, grit up, and get ready when he says go. When he says go, go. Stop whining that's been wrong. You probably think, how can I run? How can I run? There's stupid things all over the place. Magnify it. Magnify his word. Go, go, go. Light it up. Light it up. And go. Pack your stuff. Pick up. And go to God. It's like this. The last days is very here. We can see it. We're always doing. But what we need to do is get ourselves back on track. We can't get back on track if we are sitting on the bench. We need to get up and move. I don't care if you eat a hot dog. I don't care if you watch the TV. I don't care if you play a video game. You'll be on your iPad, iPhone, or anything like that. When God says go, you go. It's like this. Before you leave, I go. Your blessings will never be a blessing if God is not in it. I heard someone say, they say that I will. Let me just say this. I heard someone say this morning. I heard someone say this morning on my TV. On my TV, says, don't go to a party. Don't go to a party. Arm yourself up. Don't go to a party. Just keep going. But it's like this. How can you not celebrate a victory without a party? You need to party. You need to, when you got a victory, celebrate it. In the Bible, it's like this. When Moses led the Israelites out of bondage, not just they won out. They are singing, they were worshiping, they were excited. Not just they are whining, but they were worshiping God with it. They are praising the Lord while they are whining, and whining. Sometimes if you say a prayer while they're whining out there, in other words, you can't have victory if you are not willing to party. You need to celebrate the victory. I'm not saying that you have to eat a cake. I'm not saying you have to do those things. I'm talking about if you won a victory, celebrate it. Let's bow his way. Dear Lord, thank you for this day, Lord. Lord, just make us tough as nails, Lord. Lord, just help us to found a way, Lord. Let's find our way and dive deep into it, Lord. Lord, there are times that we probably fail in our ways, Lord. Lord, just help us to be faithful, be blessed, but also to run for you. Your hope is better than anything, Lord. And we're thankful that you have suffered and died upon the cross for our sins, Lord. And we're thankful how you actually healed while he was sick, and Lazarus from the dead. Your miracles seem meaningless. Your miracles seem so wonderful, but at the same time, it's kind of mannerless. It's only the iceberg to what He can do to us. You are transforming us into something. You are transforming us into something that you are transforming us through your word that is something wonderful, even wonderful than what we as we are. Lord, keep on blessing us, Lord. Keep on blessing us. But at the same time, Lord, let us hear more about you. We need to magnify you, Lord. Please help us. Through it all. In Jesus' my name. Amen. Thank you for your time. Bye.